happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween, silver shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween, silver shamrock.
It's almost time, kids. King 7's 31 Days of Halloween. You probably can't make 31 videos in 31 days, but you're gonna try.
How's it going, everybody? Today I have the pleasure of reviewing a fan film, a Halloween fan film called The Spirit of Haddonfield. Now, this one has been directed by Rene. He directed it and he wrote it too. And I watched it early this morning. It released sometime last night. I know because he's from America and I'm from Ireland, so I seen it a bit later because I was sleeping when he released it. But I believe it was 8 p.m. With the American time zone. So all I'm going to say is I was very excited to watch this when I did first see it, and this is my first review on this channel. It's my first one, and I'm just gonna say it like straight off the bat, it's not gonna be on par with people like Drum Dums or like I don't know, Dave McRae. I don't think I'd ever be able to make videos up to their standards. So if you watch this and you don't think it's a great review, I'm sorry. I'm still kind of new to it and I'm kind of getting used to everything. So I will be 100% honest with this, of course. I'm not gonna, you know, pretend that I like the film if I don't. I will tell you if I like something or I dislike it. There is points I dislike in this or points to go over where I kind of dislike things about this fan film. Of course, with everything, because you're not gonna like everything in life. But we start off with some really cool still shots of Haddonfield, Illinois, and it reminded me a lot of the first film. Now, what surprised me is I thought some of these were actually pictures, but it turns out there were shots that I assume were actually photos and not video, but they turned out to be video, which I thought was crazy. The camera work is really good, and oh my god, the opening scenes. Now, the opening titles for this film reminded me so much of the original. Not in a way he was kind of copying them, but obviously in the way he was getting inspiration from them. And we start off by seeing a kind of close-up a close-up video of a pumpkin. And then we meet the main character, whose name is Hannah Owens. And I get the whole Laurie vibe from Hannah Owens. She's young, she's still in school by the looks of it, or maybe college, walking home on Halloween with her books in her hand. You know, you get that Laurie vibe as soon as you see it. Now, the cool thing about this is you get the Laurie vibe and you think maybe this is a different universe where 40 years ago there was no murders with Michael Myers, but she gets a call from her grandmother, and her grandmother is, Laurie Strode, basically. And that's where it kind of surprised me. I didn't see that one coming, but of course with the new film we have Laurie, she has a grandmother. It's possible, she's this survivor, so she was warning Hannah that it's Halloween, and Halloween you need to be careful. You don't go around messing around, or you just be careful of who's around you, your surroundings and stuff like that. And Hannah passed it off as like, oh, I'm gonna be okay, blah blah blah, and that, yeah. So she ended up hanging up on a call with her grandmother, not like hanging up in a bad way, but she finished the phone call with her grandmother Laurie, and the way we actually seen the grandmother is really cool too. She didn't say, like goodbye Laurie or whatever. It didn't go by name, but we see a really cool angle shot of the phone, and obviously you can tell it's Jamie Lee Curtis on the phone. And I thought that was really creative, first off, so props to Rene for that one. If you weren't paying attention and you watched this fan film, there are a lot of things you might miss, so I'm just going to say that one. But yeah, so she hangs up with her grandmother, and she was talking to her father, and her father is the absent type father in this film. The father who's not like gone or anything, but he's not really around and he's not really paying too much attention to you. He might forget your birthday, or might forget a phone call on your birthday, or he might not, get back to you if he misses a call from you. That sort of guy. And Hannah was calling him. She told him, because she couldn't get through to him, she told him, would you even care if I die? Something like that, along those lines. And I feel like the whole absent father thing was a way for us to maybe, kind of connect with Hannah, or feel for her in a way, feel sad, or sympathetic about her situation. Because of course her grandmother is this girl who almost died 40 years ago, and she kind of has to live with this whole Michael Myers thing over her shoulder. Everyone's going to be associating Michael Myers with this family, so you kind of feel for her in that way. But I'm not going to lie, oh sorry, I got a notification on my watch. Sorry, but you kind of feel for her in that way, and then I'm gonna be honest though, I don't really feel for Hannah too much. I think, and it's nothing to do with the character, Hannah Owens, nothing to do with the character at all, or the girl who played her at all. I just feel like in the space of time she was, or the amount of time she was in the film, I don't think it was enough time for me to personally kind of connect with the character. You know, it wasn't long at all. It's a really short film. It's less than 20 minutes long, and a lot of it is kind of the ending credits and the intro, so, or the opening scenes. So yeah, she hangs up the phone with her father, and we get a really cool and awesome shot of Michael Myers from behind, just like Carpenter shot in 1978's Halloween. Michael kind of sneakily comes behind her, and it's really cool because Hannah has these earbuds in, so Michael can just walk up behind her and she has no idea, you know, because obviously Michael's a stalker type in the first film, but in this film she had no idea anyway because she has her earbuds in. Eventually she's kind of startled and turns around and she sees someone dressed as Michael Myers. Now, like I said, we're Hannah living in this life where she's kind of surrounded by this whole Michael Myers situation with her grandmother Laurie. This seems to be a situation where maybe something like Halloween 4, you know, like I said, bad reviewer here. I can't explain for shit. But if you remember in Halloween 4, we had people dressing up as Michael Myers, where Loomis was telling the officer that Michael is over there, and he points the gun at that guy, but then there's another Michael, and then there's a real Michael. So it's kind of something like that where people know about Michael Myers and they're dressing up as Michael Myers to get a reaction from her, which is kind of cruel because of course her grandmother lived in this real life event, and you know, it's not nice. But yeah, she kind of chews Michael out, and Michael had none of it. This is the real Michael Myers. This is no like impersonator. So he pulls out his knife and he catches her right in the shoulder. Now, I found that to be a pretty cool scene. She runs off and she gets to the house. The kind of horror cliche where you're going to your house and you drop the keys and you're fumbling around, you can't get the keys in the door. Of course, just kind of buying time for Michael to get closer and closer. And she eventually gets into the house, but Michael has his hand in the door. And she eventually kind of smacks his hand and he drops his knife. Sort of like the first film too. But yeah, what I like about this is it didn't show Michael outside the house. It showed him from inside the house, like him through a window. You know, the camera, or the film camera is in the house looking out the window, or Michael's walking around the back garden and you can see his shadow behind the blinds of the back door. And that's something I find to be very cool. Now, the ending, like I said, I don't want to spoil this for you, and I'm not going to spoil this for you, but the ending is nothing I could have imagined. My idea of how the film ended, it completely flipped on me in like two different. There was obviously, when you come into a film like this, you have two kind of ideal endings of, you kind of figure it's going to end this way or that way, and it doesn't end that way. It ends in a completely different way, and you know, it kind of, how do I explain it? It basically says a big fuck you to any typical horror movie ending, because I haven't seen something like this done before. At least I can't remember any film where it's had such a weird outcome like this one. And obviously, like I said, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but the end result, man, it's to be continued. That's all I can say. There was a scene in which Hannah was inside of a very similar room like Laurie in the first Halloween. I'm not gonna say it, but you know what I mean. You know where Laurie was and Michael was, and they're kind of, you know, doing their thing. That sounds really weird, doing their thing. You know what I mean? Like Michael was, you know, bashing in the closet scene. I'm just gonna say that. I don't know what other way to explain it without giving it away, but there was a similar scene with the closet, and that's where things kind of flipped around, and the ending just kind of blew my mind. So in the end, what I want to say is as a fan of Halloween, the original Halloween, this I would see something very similar to a movie and I'd say, you know, he's kind of copying this, he's doing this, he's kind of copying off the first one, but I didn't get that whole copying vibe off this. Yes, there are very you know, there are a lot of similarities to this film and the original film, but it's in a way that it's more of a nod to it and inspiration from those films. He's taken sort of what John Carpenter did and making it his own, and it worked really well. How he edited this, or if he edited this, it was really well. And I'm that kind of person who thinks music is very important, and it is. I think in horror films, to build up suspense, music is very, very important. So I think he done a wonderful job of creating suspense with the music and how he shot the film too. I think his camera work was great, and he done a lot of tracking shots as like he followed the characters around, and I thought it was just crazy. I'm not sure what way he filmed this. I know it couldn't have been obviously by hand. He must have had some sort of dolly or something like that. I'm not sure about the filming terms, but you know, you must have some good setup to be able to film this. And yeah, I thought it was a crazy film all in all. That's kind of my review. I don't know. One of the cool things actually about this is the guy who plays Michael Myers. His name is Vincent DeSante. He also plays Jason in a fan film called Never Hike Alone. And I urge you guys to check that one out too. That's really good. But he plays Jason in that one, and man, he's living a life. He gets to play Jason and Michael. Even, you know, Kane Hodder can't do that. He wants to though. He does want to play Michael Myers in the film. I don't know if he ever will. I think Kane Hodder might have a chance of playing Michael Myers in a parody film or something, or like a spin-off or something like that, you know. But I don't think he'll ever play the actual Michael Myers in a Halloween film or an official Halloween film. But yeah, okay, so the conclusion to the movie, I really enjoyed it. There were some parts I didn't like I think there were a lot of scenes that made me cringe with Hannah's acting, and it's one of those things where this is a fan film. It's not like a feature film. So I wouldn't have expected, you know, phenomenal acting from this one. And I do think there were so many scenes where she was acting very, very good, and it was kind of like a pretty good film. It didn't feel like a fan film for the entire thing. There were just scenes where, you know, her acting might not have been too great, and I kind of cringed at some of those ones. And the only other complaint I have, and this is literally two complaints I have for this fan film, is that it didn't I didn't get the vibe of Haddonfield in the opening scenes, or even the scene with Hannah walking around. Now you can say, you know, like, this is in Arizona and the other one was in California, so it's not going to be the same, and I get you completely. I think for a no budget fan film that was shot in Arizona, Flagstaff, I think he credited Flagstaff, Arizona in the ending of the film, so I might be wrong. This might be shot somewhere else, but from what I can see at the ending in the credits, he did say Flagstaff, Arizona. So yeah, like I said, from a no-budget film shot in Arizona, you really couldn't get the same vibe as Carpenter's film. And apart from the outside scenes in the neighborhood, it did feel a lot like a Carpenter film, and it was just the way he shot it. And I just think for somebody who has a no-budget film, it's crazy to feel like an actual film when it's a fan film. So I was genuinely taken back by how good this was for a fan film, a short fan film. And that's what I was thinking throughout the whole film. I was like, man, I wish this was a bit longer, because it flew in. It didn't last like almost 20 minutes at all. It was just so fast. And yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it again. So congratulations to Rene Rivas for making such a good fan film, man. I don't know, like, I don't know how to review films. Like, I'm a noob with this, and like I said, I guess in comparison to like Dave McRae, I would never be able to make any videos like those. But Rene, you done a great job, a stand-up job with this one, and I can't wait for everyone else to see it. It's about 5,000 views right now, and I'm fucking sure it's gonna blow up and do really well. So, you know, Rene, if you are gonna, it did say to be continued, like I said. So if you are gonna make another one, definitely do, because the way you flipped the ending on me was just fucked. I don't know, I never expected that. I'm gonna leave the links down to the film in the description below. I'm gonna also leave Rene's social media handles if you want to go check him out too. Show him some love. He's done a fucking stand-up job on this one. Yeah, I'm gonna end it off here. I'm talking too long. But first review, let me know what you think. It's the 2nd of October, 31 days of Halloween. It's going well so far. Like I said, second day in, so it's kind of going smoothly. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you do check out this film. It's fucking great. If you haven't already, check it out, and if you have, check it out again because I'm going to. Anyway, thank you for watching.